Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Altenew. And today I'm actually creating projects using the Zig Zag Floral stamp set, and I'm actually going to show you how I created my layout. You can see the rest of the projects that I created on today's blog spot. So what I'm going to create with this stamp set is actually something really fun, and I really love this stamp set because there's a lot that you can do with it. As always, I pulled out the tripod pamphlet that comes with this stamp set just to give you an idea and to look and to get inspired by what the looks of what you can achieve with the stamp set. And like I mentioned before, this stamp set is really fun because it has a little zigzag that you can actually get a different look for this stamp flower, or you can add on to just the outline of the flower. Now, because what I want to create, I had in mind something really light, something really airy, something very springy, but I want to bring a rainbow just because the times we're living are a little bit hard for everybody. So I want something really light, something really springy for this layout. So I'm going to take advantage of my stamping platform just because I want to speed up the process. And like I said, I'm going to bring a rainbow onto this page. So I'm just setting up my stamp, and what I want to use is the big flower outline, that flower that's on the side, kind of a side view, and then I'm going to use the center of the biggest flower to create a tiny little bud. And the way I want to stamp is I want to stamp the big flowers out of the same color, the lightest color of a mini ink cube set, and the little bud or the center of the flower, the floral, from a darker shade of the same family. Now I'm using inks, quite a few of them. Like I said, I'm gonna bring a rainbow, so I pulled out the Golden Sunset mini cube set, the Warm and Cozy mini cube set, the Tea Party, Spring Bouquet, Shades of Purple, Lapis Lazuli, Sweet Dreams, Summer Afternoon, and with that I stamped the center of the flowers, and Green Meadows to create all my leaves. So you're gonna see that, like, I'm just gonna speed up the process, and that's what the stamping platform came in handy, because it just helped me to stamp all the colors on a more continuous and kind of a faster way too. So all I'm doing is just adding the lightest ink to the biggest florals, and then the next shade of the color to the little center of the flower. And I'm just gonna stamp them, and I'm gonna take it off camera, finish. And then, like I mentioned before, this little flower actually has little pistils, I think it's called. The center of the flower is a separate piece. So I am actually gonna use the summer afternoon ink set, and the ink that I'm going to use for the center is actually buttercream, which is the lightest color in this mini cube set. And I just wanted something really light for the center. My idea was to use black, but I thought it was going to be a drastic contrast, and like I said, I want something really light, something really airy for this layout. So when we're really light yellow centers, and you're going to see that it only shows a light shade from what you see in the camera, and in real life too, it's just like a light shade onto the flowers, and I really love the way it turned out. So I'm gonna take it off camera, and at the same time I use the Green Meadow mini ink cube set. I use the two lightest colors to create quite a bit of flowers. I'm gonna the leaves. So I'm just gonna show you all the colors of the rainbow that I created, and then I'm gonna use the coordinating die, because I actually haven't, to actually take all I'm gonna take it off camera and just cut all the florals and also the leaves and have them ready. Now remember that the smallest flower that I stamp is actually the center of the biggest flower. So my choice is I want to use it as kind of a filler floral and kind of to punch the color that I'm using. So I'm actually gonna take my time to fussy cut each one of the images. It took no time because like I said, I was in a groove of just die cutting all the florals, so just fussy cutting some flowers, it was no big deal. At the same time, when I was die cutting the flowers, I used the color wheel die set, and I cut two big color wheels from white cardstock, and this is gonna help me create the rainbow on my page and actually add some movement. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use white cardstock on the background because it just makes everything nice and airy. And then I cut, this is a 6 by 12 inch of white cardstock that I had on my stash, and then I'm gonna cover a panel or create a panel using the marshland washi tape, and this has a soft tone of gray, which is just kind of create a really nice soft background for the picture and for the layout. So I covered the cardstock with the washi, and then I'm just gonna cut the excess of camera. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna start with this picture of my two kids and eyes in black and white, and I'm gonna change my mind after, so that's not the end result. But before I do that, I'm actually gonna use some of the gradient cardstock actually to back just some of the areas of the color dye. I just want to add a little triangle, in this case, of the lightest color of the not lightest color, just some of the colors of the gradient cardstock, just to cover one of the slivers of the color dye. And that's just to help me, like I said, with the idea of bringing a rainbow onto the page. So you're gonna see that I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the back of the color dye. And actually, remember, I only cut 2 of the color wheels, and I'm actually I cut one of them in half so that I can have 3 pieces to play with. So all I'm doing is I'm gonna back the top one with a piece of yellow and a piece of orange, because those are the 2 colors that I have on the flowers. Then the big round one, I'm actually gonna bring some papers in the coral tone, and also from the more on a fuchsia tone, so I use rose petal and tea party gradient cardstock. And then for the purple, I use, oh my god, I can shade of purple gradient cardstock. And then I use, for the green, I use Sweet Dreams cardstock, gradient cardstock. But for the blue, because there was not a blue that came close to the inks, I actually use a piece of paper from the Reflections scrapbooking kit to just back the space of the at the bottom of the little color wheel at the bottom. You're gonna see that I changed my idea, like I said, of the picture, and I'm actually gonna use a picture of my daughter on Valentine's Day. She made dessert for all of us. She made crepes, and they're actually pretty good. So I took a picture of her eating her own creation, and I'm gonna use it for this. So all I'm doing right now is that I have an idea of what I want to create, or not what I'm gonna create, but how I want to set up. And my idea is I want to have the first half of the wheel right at the top left corner, and I place it in such way that the flowers are gonna create like a big S shape throughout the page, starting from the yellow, going to the orange, going to the coral, to the pink, to the purple, then to the blue, and finishing on the teal. So you're gonna see that it's gonna be quite a bit of movement, and that's where the color wheels are gonna help me. This is with the roundness of the shape is gonna help me create that soft curvature that I'm looking for. So all I'm doing right now, just kind of setting everything in place. You're gonna see that I'm gonna try to place the flowers next to that little piece of the color wheel that I backed with the cardstock. And like I said, I created the small little center flower with a darker color shade, because I knew I wanted to punch the color of the rainbow. And I also, I'm gonna make sure that I color block the flowers to the little slivers of cardstock that I backed the color wheels with. And all I'm doing is, you're gonna see that I'm just creating a cluster with the flowers. I'm gonna try to always use 2 bigger flower and then a small one, but when it came to the blue area, the flowers were so heavy, and it was gonna make it really heavy if I used the big flowers. So I chose to use just like the side view of the flower and the 2 little buds on the center. And I'm gonna actually take it off camera, because I don't want to bore you with just adding some foam adhesive to attach everything to the place. So I took it off camera and just glued everything with foam adhesive, just gonna create a little bit of lift and some movement. And then I'm adding a piece of the die cut. It's actually from the Live Your Dream collection. Like I said, I wanted something really light, and the title is gonna be Celebrate, and that came, like I said, from the Live Your Dream collection. And the word today is actually inside of the big strip of washi tape that I have, and it's white, so it doesn't show that much, and I just want the Celebrate to be more of a focal point. And all I'm doing right now is I went into my stash and find stickers that had the same tones as I have on the background. So I'm kind of color blocking everything by putting stickers out of the same color family next to the flowers, yellow and yellow, orange and orange, and so on. And all I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna bring some of the Altenew enamel dots and a few more from my stash just to complete the colors. And I'm gonna add a few, I'm gonna scatter them, but I'm gonna make sure that they're next to the color family. So yellow enamel dots next to the yellow flowers, and so on. and I'm gonna make sure that I place the enamel dot in such way that it just helps with the movement of the flowers. The last thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add a little cluster of not ephemera, sorry, of enamel dots next to the word celebrate on the left, just to bring more of that green, because I don't have that much green, especially in that tone in this layout. So I'm just gonna add a few enamel dots there, and after that I'm gonna add my lines of journal underneath the title. You're not gonna see that I'm gonna do it outside of the camera, but it was super simple. As you can see it, I'm kind of creating like a movement and it completes the circle in a way, and that's about it. This was so much fun to put together. It was actually super easy to put together, and I love how this turned out. Like I said, we're living in really unprecedented times, and we can use all the color and all the cheerfulness that a rainbow can bring. So that's my inspiration for today's layout, and I hope you get inspired by this. Don't forget to check the blog post. I'm actually gonna attach in the description a link so you can see the other projects that I created using the Zig Zag Floral. Make sure you check it out, because it's an awesome flower that can give you a lot of different looks with one single stamp set. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Lots of content being added. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.